Lecture 30 Becoming a Leader is Becoming Yourself, Part 1. 1. Become Yourself. There is a book on leadership written by an experienced business leader who advises young people to be yourself. You may have heard similar advice elsewhere. What do you think of this advice? I think this advice is not good. What does it mean to be yourself? Am I not already being myself? If the advice means not to pretend, then it misses the key to becoming a leader. The key to becoming a leader is not to be yourself, but to become yourself. What is the difference between being yourself and becoming yourself? Being yourself is about showing a state of being, while becoming yourself is a process of building yourself. I would even say that becoming a leader requires pretending. You pretend to be a better version of yourself, the ideal version of yourself, the version that the situation demands. You pretend until you succeed. This process is the process of becoming yourself. Leadership guru Warren Bennis once said, "Becoming a leader is becoming yourself, it's that simple and that difficult." This statement is not easy to understand on its own. Management expert Peter Drucker said something that left a deep impression on me during our conversation. He said, "We are not born human, we spend a lifetime becoming human." When you put these two statements together, it becomes easier to understand. Being yourself, be yourself, is about showing your current self, which is not difficult. But becoming yourself, become yourself, is about shaping an ideal self, a process that takes a lifetime and is full of difficulties. Becoming yourself has many difficulties, and I have summarized 3 main difficulties, which are 3 kinds of dilemmas. I will explain them one by one. 2. Which version of yourself to become? The first challenge of becoming yourself is, should you become the person you want to be or the person others want you to be? This dilemma can be called the self versus others conflict. The most common conflict is when you have your own life vision, but your family has a different plan for your future. Another possibility is that as a leader, your followers have different expectations for you than you have for yourself. When faced with the conflict between self and others, should you listen to yourself or to others? My advice is to listen to the 3 circles. In the previous lecture, we talked about the 3 circles theory. These 3 circles can be used to plan the future of an organization or your own future. In the previous lecture, I told you a story about former US President Clinton. In this lecture, I will tell you a story about his vice president, Al Gore. Gore was Clinton's vice president from 1992 to 2000. Gore's father was a senior US senator. In 1998, while Gore was still vice president, his father passed away. After attending his father's funeral, Gore returned to the White House and breathed a sigh of relief, saying, "I finally don't have to be President of the United States." Bennis told me this story in 2008. He said that 2 weeks ago, in the same seat you are sitting in now, one of Gore's senior aides told him this story. My analysis of this story is that when Gore said, "I finally don't have to be President of the United States," it meant that being President of the United States was not his own ideal, but his father's expectation of him. He carried this expectation and did well, becoming Vice President of the United States, 1 step away from the presidency. But after his father passed away, he still said this sentence, indicating that being President of the United States was not his passion. However, in 2000, Gore was forced to run for president due to circumstances. His opponent was George W. Bush. I don't know if you remember, but the 2000 U.S. presidential election had a rare vote counting dispute that required the Supreme Court to decide whether to recount the votes. If the votes were recounted, Gore would likely have become president. However, before the Supreme Court made a decision, Gore announced his withdrawal and did not persist until the end. I told Bennis that after hearing this story, I now understand why Gore withdrew from the race, because he did not truly love it. Gore later worked in environmental protection, and because of his contributions to the cause, he and an American environmental organization won the Nobel Peace Prize. What does Gore's experience tell us? Gore was good at politics and had opportunities, but he did not truly love it. He was good at environmental protection, had opportunities, and truly loved it. His three circles truly intersected in environmental protection.